Hey everyone, Cass here. After the first week of the kart racing devlog, we established an authoritative network system and created a client-side graphics overlay to show what kart the user is in. However, we lacked any drivers for the character, any sort of animations, and everything sort of looked stiff and robotic. In this episode, I'm going to touch up on that, as well as showing the process I use for creating new vehicles for the game. In case you missed last episode, there will be a card in the top corner of the screen with a link to the episode. You can also check out the entire series in the playlist link below. Before we get started, I want to remind you all to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe and ring the notification bell to be alerted for future videos. It is 100% free, and you can leave at any time. A few quick things I've added in the meantime. First, I've added for testing and debugging purposes these values that I can adjust to make sure the camera sits correctly in frame. Ideally for a kart racer, you want the top of your driver to be just below the middle of your screen. So this gives the chance to tweak this more and more until it's at a position that I find adequate. The UI buttons you see are test buttons for mobile support. Because the game is running in studio, the check for a mobile device is ignored. This UI is definitely not final and will likely be changed several times. How I've decided to handle the drivers is to just make a dummy of the player character. However, we don't want them to replicate on the server because the animations are not relevant to the core game loop. And this means that any exploits that cause the driver to do something rather vulgar won't be seen by other users. To do this, all we have to do is create a humanoid with an R15 rig and store it inside of the kart in the correct position. Then, we can use the humanoid description of the player it's trying to look like, and this can give us the appearance of any player we want. Since every physical kart has a copy of the player owner, this won't be hard to find. Next, we're going to use the script to animate a dummy driver based on whether the kart is moving or not. To do this, I've added a configuration to the graphical kart with values for steering and throttle that are read directly from the physical kart. Because the script is not in a traditionally client-owned area, such as the player or the backpack, we cannot use local scripts. Luckily, Roblox has added a feature to change the context of script runtime so we can make it run only on the client. Add some animations, and voila, we now have an animated rig inside of our vehicle. We also are able to use this so that we can create special effects for the vehicles, such as running a UFO to have it hover up and down slightly, and tilt from side to side when turning. I want to take a minute to show just how much effort I'm putting into this game as a solo developer. So, I've opened up Blender, and I'm running a time-lapse of me modeling a new vehicle for the game, a motorbike inspired by MotoGP racing. The full version of me modeling this clip is about an hour and a half, so I'm going to leave a timestamp so that you can skip right ahead. Now that we have a new mesh, we can create an empty model with a centerpiece and add the mesh to our model. Align the parts so that the mesh is just where you want it to be, and the rig is done. Now we just have to add a humanoid for the driver and animate him with its little scripting, and that looks pretty good. I'm really beginning to like this framework I have right now, so I think the next thing on our to-do list will be to actually code racing functionality, and that's what I'm going to start with next week. I still don't know what I'm going to name this game, so if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more of these devlogs. Until next time, my name is Casually Critical, signing off.